Nigeria and Jamaica have a special bond and we can't stop thinking about it. Recall when Miss Jamaica won Miss World in 2019. Miss Nigeria jubilated in such a way that you would think that she won the crown. Some people say she was doing too much. But please, this was a moment of sisterhood. Likewise, in July 2022, Toby Amuson won the 100 meters hurdles in the World Athletics, and the Jamaican competitor celebrated with her, hugging her too. Would you say that she was also doing too much? Nah. So what exactly is this bond between the two countries? Though far apart, it seems like natives of both Jamaica and Nigeria tend to have something special when they're together.
These are just some words that I found that connect Igbo and Jamaican Patois, and it's just really interesting how they're just the same. For example, unu is something that I hear a lot from Jamaicans. Unu, like when referring to you people, like saying you people. And in Igbo, that means you people.
In Igbo, we say dibia.
In Patois, we say obia. Them obia you, my youth. Look like them obia you or something.
In Igbo, we say okro.
In Patois, we say okro. Yeah, man, I'm gonna put some okra in it. Yeah, put some okra in it.
And then in Igbo, we say poto poto.
In Patois, we say poto poto.
Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Ruby Masaga. Today I want us to dive deep into a story that is bigger than sports, bigger than entertainment, and even bigger than anyone out there. It's a story of it's the story of a bond, connection, and a legacy that has lived on for more than 400 years. A bond between Nigeria and Jamaica.
There is no denying the connection between the Igbo descendants of the Caribbean and the Igbos of Nigeria. In this video, my husband and I will do a comparison of some common words that we use in Jamaican Patois that are actually Igbo words that are still being used today. Let's get started.
In Igbo, we say dibia.
In Patois, we say obia. Them obia you, my youth. Look like them obia you or something.
In Igbo, we say okro.
In Patois, we say okro. Yeah, man, I'm gonna put some okra in it. Yeah, put some okra in it.
And then in Igbo, we say poto poto.
In Patois, we say poto poto. Is that rice that's a poto poto, my youth? Rice, poto poto, man. Oh, God. Anyways, guys, those are just some of the words that we use in our patois that are actually Igbo words, and some of them are pronounced the exact same way in Igbo land, and they mean the exact same thing. So as far as the connection between the Igbo descendants in the Caribbean and the Igbos in Nigeria, you be the judge and tell me. The language still exists after over 400 years. That's when the Igbos first landed foot on the island of Jamaica. Anyways, if you're not yet following us, what are you waiting for? Make sure you go ahead and engage from the bottom up, and we'll see you in the next video.
Let's talk about the Igbo influence in Jamaica, specifically Jamaican Patois. One of the major tribes that ended up in Jamaica, or what we now call Jamaica, during the transatlantic slave trade was the Igbo people. They were among other major tribes like the Yoruba people and the Akan people of Ghana. But we're just going to talk about the Igbo influence specifically because that's what I know about. These are just some words that I found that connect Igbo and Jamaican Patois, and it's just really interesting how they're just the same. For example, unu is something that I hear a lot from Jamaicans. Unu, like when referring to you people, like saying you people. And in Igbo, that means you people. So in Igbo means only. And apparently in Jamaican Patois, they also say sosa or so. I don't know exactly how they say it, but I just know that's the word. It's also interesting how in Latin languages, solo also means the same thing. Igbo people call bed bugs chinche, and Jamaicans call them chink. Igbo people say anyuku to describe a greedy person because anyuku literally means big eye. And in Jamaican Patois, they say big eye to describe a greedy person. In Igbo, onuzo literally means the mouth of a door mouth. And Jamaicans say door mouth to describe the opening of a door as well. Akara is a bean cake that's eaten in Nigeria and also the Caribbean and Brazil too. I don't know if y'all know this, but so many Africans who were stolen during the transatlantic slave trade were taken from the region that we now call Nigeria. So it's not shocking when you see a lot of people with Nigerian ancestry when they do a 23andMe or something like that. So ultimately, it all makes sense.
If you're a person that does not like the Igbo culture, you may want to scroll past this post because this is going to have Igbo Amaka written all over it. So many of you have seen me in videos and you've thought to yourself, she looks just like an Igbo woman. And guess what? You're absolutely right. But let me tell you the little secret behind it. See, it all started with the transatlantic slave trade. During the transatlantic slave trade, many of Igbos were taken to the island of Jamaica. And though they were not home, they took everything they had with them, which includes their proverbs, the language, their culture, and most of all, their entrepreneurial spirit. So let me tell you some of the similarities between the Igbos of Nigeria and the Igbo descendants of the Caribbean. For example, our language. In our native tongue in Jamaica, which is called Patois, we have a very, very popular word that we use, and we pronounce it unu. This is the Igbo word una. It means you people, or all of you, or you all. We use that every single day in Jamaica. By the way, if you're loving this shirt and you're thinking, well, Sheikah, where can I get one? Make sure you go to ldrvisa.com and click on shop. Anyways, back to the video. In Jamaica, we have some famous Igbo proverbs that we use every single day. But the truth is, most modern day Jamaicans are not aware of where their language and a lot of the things that they're saying is coming from. The truth is, it came from the Igbos of Nigeria. One of the popular proverbs that we use all the time is, you will see a water walk ga pumpkin belly. This is a popular phrase that we say in Jamaica. And in Igbo language, it sounds like this.
Amaka milisi weba obi ubogru.
Yes, and that's my husband, by the way. I did ask him to make me a voice note. I'm not that advanced in Igbo language yet. But yes, basically the meaning is, you will see how does the water get to the belly of a fruit or vegetable? How does the water get to the belly, right? Right. That is something we say every single day in Jamaica. The Igbos are the largest entrepreneurial group in Nigeria. And guess what? They have passed down that entrepreneurial spirit to us, their descendants in the Caribbean. If you would like to learn more about the similarities between the Igbo descendants of the Caribbean and the Igbos of Nigeria, let me know down in the comment section. And if you're an LDR couple and you're not yet following us, what are you waiting for? Make sure you engage from the bottom up, and I'll see you in the next video.
In February 2022, the governments of Nigeria and Jamaica had a session of the Nigeria-Jamaica Joint Commission in Abuja. Speaking at the event, the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Nigeria, Jeffrey Onyema, said that both governments have put in place mechanisms to strengthen bilateral relations between both countries. So you see, the bond is not only social, but also political. Both governments make this bond intentional. Don't forget to follow us at OK Africa for more information about Africa.
Now, you might be wondering what exactly connects these two nations that sit thousands of miles apart, one in West Africa and the other in the Caribbean. Well, the answer takes us back to, one of the darkest chapters in human history, the transatlantic slave trade. During that brutal time, millions of Africans were captured and shipped across the ocean. Among them were the Igbo and Yoruba people from Nigeria, whose language, culture, and spirit did not die when they reached the shores of Jamaica. Instead, it lived on, transformed, and even became the foundation of what we know today as Jamaican identity. Think about it. 400 years later, Jamaicans are still speaking words that, are directly from Nigeria. When Jamaicans say unu, meaning, all of you, that's not just Jamaican Patois. That's Igbo. When they say big I for a greedy, person, or mumu for someone who's foolish, they are literally echoing Nigerian expressions. Even their food, their proverbs, their cultural spirit, it all has deep Nigerian roots. Now, but this isn't just about, history. This is about a bond that continues to be celebrated today. Do you remember when Miss Nigeria stood up and cheered for Miss Jamaica at the Miss World pageant in 2019? That moment went viral not just because it was heartwarming, but because it symbolized something bigger. It was a reminder of sisterhood that cannot be broken. The same thing happened in sports. When Jamaican athletes celebrated Toby Amson's world record victory in 2022. These aren't coincidences. These are reminders that no matter the distance, the bond between these two nations, it's still alive and strong. And here's the powerful part, guys. It's not only about culture. It's also about politics. In 2022, Nigerian and Jamaican held a joint commission meeting, working together, strengthen ties officially. That means governments are not doing what the people have been doing for centuries. They are keeping the bond alive. So today, I want us to react to this connection, not just as history, not just as culture, but as a living testimony that even through pain, displacement, and centuries of separation, unity can survive. Now, let's break this down a little deeper, because the Nigerian-Jamaican connection is not just symbolic. It's practical, it's emotional, and it's cultural in ways most people don't even realize. Now, let's start with language. Language is the soul of people. And when you listen to Jamaican Patois, you are literally listening to echoes of Nigeria. Words like unu, mumu, obia, and even everyday terms like okra and chinky are not Jamaican inventions. They are direct carryovers from Nigerian languages. For 400 years, these words survived. Think about that for a moment. Generations passed, slavery ended, colonization ended, and yet these words are still being spoken. That's not just coincidence. That's resilience. That's culture refusing to die. And it's not just words, it's proverbs. Jamaicans still use sayings like one hand washes the other, or how does water get inside a fruit? Proverbs straight out of Igbo wisdom. They may not always know where these sayings come from, but that's the power of heritage. It lives on even when its origins fade into the background. Now, let's talk about food. Dishes like akara, the bean cake, exist in Nigeria, in Jamaica, and even in Brazil. Or take Jamaica's blue draws kunu, a dish wrapped in banana leaves, strikingly similar to Nigerian cooking traditions. These foods are more than meals. They are edible history lessons, connecting people across continents. Then there is the social bond, the emotional solidarity. I want you to picture that 2019 Miss World pageant again. Miss Jamaica was crowned and Miss Nigeria celebrated like it was her own sister who had won. That's not just pageantry, that's identity. That's recognition of family across oceans. Or, take athletics. Jamaican athletes standing with Nigerian Toby as she smashed the 100-meter hurdles world record. These are powerful symbols of African unity, showing us that even on the global stage, Africans and the African diaspora recognize each other as one people. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Politics. This isn't about emotions anymore. Governments are getting involved. The 2022 Nigeria-Jamaica Joint Commission was not a small event. It was an official recognition that both countries benefit from strengthening ties in trade, culture, tourism, and diplomacy. Imagine that this could mean in future a stronger Nigeria-Jamaica partnership could become a model for how Africa and the Caribbean reconnect and rebuild the bridges that were broken centuries ago. This is where we have to pause and reflect. This bond is not just nostalgia. It is a living, breathing opportunity. If Nigeria and Jamaica can harness their cultural connection, they can build stronger economies, deepen people-to-people ties, and show the world what it means to heal historical wounds with unity and pride. Now, let's take this conversation home because I want us to think about the bigger picture of what this Nigeria-Jamaica connection really means. First, it reminds us of the power of cultural survival. 400 years ago, enslaved Africans were stripped of almost everything. Their freedom, their homes, their families, but they held on to something that could never be taken away. Their culture, their language, their wisdom. And today, Jamaica is a living proof of that. Every time a Jamaican says unu or mumu, every time they eat akara or repeat an old proverb, they are keeping Nigeria heritage alive. That's a victory against slavery. That's culture refusing to die. Second, it shows us the power of unity across the diaspora. Too often, Africa and the Caribbean are seen as, separate, but the truth is, we are one people. When Miss Nigeria celebrated Miss Jamaica, the world saw sisterhood. But what they were really saying was the African diaspora reconnecting. When Jamaica athletes stood by Toby, it wasn't just sportsmanship. It was a recognition that her win was their win too. This is what Pan-African solidarity looks like, not just in speeches, but in real human connection. Third, this bond gives us a, roadmap for, the future, because beyond culture and emotions, there are real opportunities here. The Nigerian-Jamaican Joint Commission is proof that governments are, starting to see the value of building, stronger ties. What that could mean, more culture exchange programs between schools, tourism packages that, connect Lagos to Kingston, trade in food, music, film, and fashion, shared investment in, sports, education, and technology. The possibilities are endless, and they are built on a foundation that already exists. This isn't about creating a new bond. It's about strengthening a bond that has always been there. Finally, this connection challenges us to ask some tough questions, like what does it mean for Africans in Africa and Africans in diaspora to truly unite? What does it look like to move beyond symbolic solidarity and actually create systems of cooperation? Because the truth is, the legacy of slavery still impacts both Nigeria and Jamaica in different ways. Poverty, inequality, systemic challenges, but together these nations have, the chance to show that healing is possible, and that when Africa and the Caribbean unite, they can rewrite, history. So here's my reaction. The Nigerian-Jamaican bond is more than just history. It's a living, breathing, testimony of resilience, sisterhood, and, possibility. It is a reminder that no matter how far apart we are, no matter how much time has passed, our roots are stronger enough to hold us together. And as we look forward, this is more than just about two nations. This is about the entire African diaspora. If Nigeria and Jamaica can reconnect, imagine what could happen if Africa and the Caribbean as a whole, can come together, not just to remember the past, but to build the future. That, my friend, is the power of culture. That is the power of unity. And that is why the Nigeria-Jamaica connection deserves not just our, reaction, but our respect, our celebration, and our commitment to carry it forward. Yeah, guys, that is where I end my reaction. Drop a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. And also remember to subscribe, share this video as well. And until next time, bye-bye.